Yeah, boy.
What's going on, everyone? Today, we'll be checking out 10 really important things in Long Fallen Dynasty. So, let's get into it. Yes, there is indeed a way to respec in the game. Once you progress a little bit into the story, you'll gain access to a peaceful village connected by thick vines. Right next to the main flag here, you could turn around and enter a large hut or house. Speak to the old man inside and you could choose to reset parameters. This will allow you to take any number of points all the way down to 1 in every element you've upgraded. Then you can throw them into whatever you like for using other weapons and skills. This is free and can be done an infinite number of times. However, this does not mean you gain your spell points back, so keep this in mind as reallocating points from fire to wood will lose you access to your higher tier spells in fire. But then again, if you mess it up, you can always just go back in and fix it. As you progress through the story, you may notice your damage starting to fall off or areas being a lot harder than they seem like they should be. This might be because you skipped half the game by accident. Enter your battle flag and select Travel. Your map will pull up with different levels for you to choose from. Long is separated into parts at the very top here, and in each part is several different missions. What the game does not tell you is that there are mini missions to be completed in these parts alongside story missions. The main missions are called main battlefields right here, and then you also have the sub-battlefields. Any you have never completed will show up in white letters, while those you have completed before will be blue. Make sure to go back and do these sub-battlefields or you will miss out on health item upgrades, level increases, and even sometimes items. These are also very farmable, as you can complete some of them in under a minute if you know what you're doing. In every section of spells, you'll have what I'm calling buff spells. For wood, you can increase how fast your ult power comes back, and for metal, you can increase how fast status effects get built up. These have potential to be the most powerful spells you can get. They don't look quite as flashy, no, but be sure to look out for buff-style spells because they massively increase the damage of your other spells or abilities. The melee combat in Long is interesting because you can equip 2 separate melee weapons at any given time. Switch between the two depending on who you come up against, and you could dramatically improve your gameplay against various enemy types. However, it is possible to swap weapons mid-fight, and this can be very strong as well. Hold RT and press up or down on the D-pad. This will switch your weapon by simply having you put one away and grab the other one. Hold RB and press B or circle, and you can switch melee weapons while attacking. I, for one, didn't like how slow some of the bigger weapons were, but when I got into combat with my fast swords, I could switch to my bigger weapon for hard-hitting attacks if I got an opening to do so, which allows me to still use the damage from bigger weapons without the slow speed or less deflect chance. While playing through Long, you may come across these cute little panda creatures. I was a bit confused on their purpose at first because the prompt explaining them lasted only 3 seconds. Not really long enough to read much. In case you missed this as well, these little creatures are actually demons. They pose no threat to you, but will eat anything you give them. In the inventory of your menu, you can select from a variety of items such as low-tier weapons or useless materials. Drop one near the little guys and they will reward you with various things. If you happen to have junk, this can be a good way to get rid of it while also gambling on getting something useful. A very important feature in Long is your morale. This is the number directly above your health bar. High amounts of morale means you will deal more damage and take less from opponents. Low morale means you'll be at a disadvantage. Earn more points of morale by defeating enemies and successfully landing spirit attacks. These allow you to level up, so to speak, inside of a mission. Your spells will require different levels of morale for you to use them. Higher tier spells require much more morale, while some of the basic ones can be used with 0 morale. If you die several times and notice your damage getting low, it may be time to explore a bit and regain some of that morale. Fortitude is also an important feature as it determines how much morale you'll have when you respawn. Capturing flags will increase your fortitude, meaning they're pretty useful collectibles to grab in each level. They are of course the find them all feature, but even if you aren't into collecting or exploring the maps, these flags are still worth getting. There's honestly a lot of ways to go about combat in Long. Stealth, mainly spirit attacks, status effects, or simply deflecting everything. While you have all these options, you still might have a bit of trouble with the combat. Deflecting seems really easy sometimes, and then, for like an hour, you scream into the infinite abyss about how red attacks are impossible to avoid. Something that might seem super simple to a lot of you, but I promise will help someone. Try to always be moving. In order to deflect an attack, you need to be moving and press B or circle on the remote. Timing is key here, and often red attacks are more delayed, while regular ones are more on time, if that makes sense. When I was trying to learn bosses' attacks or even basic enemy attacks, sometimes I noticed that I would just stand still and wait to time that attack. This makes it very easy to forget that you do actually need to be moving to properly deflect. This may also allow you to be more aggressive, which is what this combat style is all about. The blacksmith is definitely one NPC you won't want to forget about. There are several options this character has that can assist you in your journey. One of these options is called Embedment, which allows you to take special effects from your various weapons and copy them for reuse. Make sure to save weapons that have effects you like so you can do this. Also, some items will have a set bonus at the very bottom. These can't be embedded, but you should also make note of these in case that set bonus is useful for your build or even a later build. As you progress through the game, you'll gain access to different divine beasts, which serve as your ultimate move. In the early game, you're given one of these that acts sort of as a save yourself move. It deals massive damage to enemy spirit bars while keeping them from hitting you for a moment. This is absolutely not how they all work, and you should not expect them to. Some of the other divine beasts will fight for you, give you more health regen, or add elemental bonuses to your weapon. Simply throwing these on and using them is not enough to see what they actually buff you with. Make sure to go in and read their descriptions when you get them. I mention this because certain divine beasts are more or less useless depending on your build. You just won't get any benefit from what they provide if you're not using those specific things. Just don't think of them as a super ability you can switch to and from whenever you like. And there you are, guys, 10 things you need to know in Long Fallen Dynasty. These were some of the things me and my brother noticed as we explored the game for the first time. Being able to co-op in a more level-oriented gameplay style has been quite fun. Several of the bosses gave us quite a challenge, with a few being pretty easy as well. I would highly recommend the Wood or Health class, as it is really good for recovering your Divine Beast very quickly. On the other hand, Metal has been my go-to. Poison isn't exactly broken, as it builds up slowly without the buff skill, but it's quite fun to throw green pools of acid around the area. Hopefully this information helped you out a little bit, and I'll catch you next time.